Cyware, the leading provider of operational threat intelligence and collective defense solutions, has collaborated with Team Cymru to pre-configure Team Cymru's industry-leading threat feeds into Cyware's threat intelligence platform. This package solution delivers real-time visibility into botnets, malware, command and control infrastructure, and external malicious activity, empowering organizations to detect and respond faster to even the most sophisticated adversaries. In this video, we will take a look at how CTIX users can leverage phishing-related indicators from Team Cymru enriched with advanced analytics to identify and block phishing campaigns before they target your users. Let's begin. To get started and to save time, we set up an IP address that is an indicator that we've collected from Team Cymru. We can take a look at the overview and see there's quite a few key details here, things that we've seen before. Looking at the indicator's overview, we can see a lot of data here that can be gleaned, such as actions taken. We can also come down and look at some of the custom attributes here. We'll talk about that as we see certain custom attributes that have been added, and I'll show you how we've done that with this address on the score report. As we go deeper, we could take a look at the analysis. There are a lot of tags here for context on the right-hand side we want to look at and potentially enrich. We could take a look at Team Cymru, and the description details data that really elicits this particular indicator to be focused around phishing, things like its association to Quasar malware activity. This controller is being leveraged, and we've seen multiple hits, and of course its geolocation from Russia. We've also seen various TCP communication that we've seen sent out of certain ports. We've seen some other associations to C2 controllers, and seeing controllers that are leveraging phishing instances and seeing IP addresses. Sort of shared host scenarios here, but all that elicit and basically provides us some indication that this particular indicator has association to controllers pushing phishing campaigns. That's one of the things we want to start with as we go through this scenario. So as we're looking at some of the tags here, and we kind of pop in, what we can do as I look at this is look at some of the relations. So taking a look at the relations here, I see that one, there's several different other threat objects that it's related to, and we can take a look at any of these, but one that kind of pops out to really compare and correlate towards spoofing domains or URLs that are potentially being leveraged as a shared hosts, which is a very common tactic, is this particular domain, this qfast.duckdns.org. If I click on that and go into the indicator and take a look at what it is, there's some things that stick out quickly. One, seeing how risky it is, and two, seeing things like typo squatting, which is domain abuse, which quite frankly shows there's some spoofing techniques on here, looking at active phishing URLs, frequently abused DNS providers, and suspicious IP addresses. There's a lot of things here that provide the correlation to the indicator that's sharing or resolving to this particular IP that has some level of domain abuse associated with it. There's also analysis here and other things you can do, and one of the things we want to do is we're analyzing the data is add to a watch list to watch this particular IP address. I want to watch it and see how many other frequent occurrences we see in the platform. Also, I want to create a custom attribute. As you can see here, you can create a custom attribute and take a look at the indicators on both the IP and the URL that it resolves to and start monitoring certain components. As we saw earlier, you can come in and you can see where that is captured and managed. This address underscore report, it's an input stream. This is where the custom attribute is being managed, and we can see others that we've created in the platform. This will show you a way to quickly search for it. You can go to threat data and type in a CQL query to look for custom attribute equals address underscore report. IOC type equals IP address. You can look up a certain value. In this case, we'll use the IP address that we started off with. This is how you can get to it easily by having a CQL search looking for custom attributes, but also trying to pinpoint on this indicator or various others that could be a part of the phishing campaign. You can also see as you create a watch list how those IPs have been hit. How many hits and occurrences have you seen? As you can see in this case, it's been pretty frequent. We've seen from the 9th to the 14th, we've seen sources showing other hits on this particular IP address and really providing the scale across the platform anytime we see this. So really automating how we see this IP interact, where it's interacting, and other details about it. And of course, one of the things we want to do once we get all of that information is we want to start tracking it and mapping to frameworks that we leverage. It could be MITRE, it could be Kill Chain, various other frameworks, but we know it's phishing. We see enough evidence by the IP and the domain URL that it resolves to that there's phishing campaigns happening. We know its initial access tactics. You can see the actual TTP, which is 21566. If we dive into that a little further, I want to map it because if I map this IP address to that particular technique, now I can start tracking how many phishing indicators we see to the techniques, creating metrics, creating reports around this, and really illustrating our monitoring efforts to track phishing campaigns. We know it's Quasar malware activity, so tracking the threat actors and the malware families associated, the infrastructure, and kind of the depth of the campaign. So this gives you a walkthrough of how you can map and again continue to take other steps, such as investigate, report, profile via bulletins, and a host of other next step actions in this campaign. This gives you a broad overview into how we can track phishing and domain spoofing or URL spoofing and domain abuse by way of Team Cymru's intelligence that we're correlating in CTICs. For more information, visit us at cyware.com and connect with one of our representatives.